Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of CJ's Coins and Crafts. This is a two-part recap, just because I'm a little bit behind, but I'm going to try to get through it as fast as I can. So this is going to be a pennies box and a nickel box. The pennies I finished a couple of days ago. I just haven't. I've been busy with work and have not been able to get the time to record. So I will be covering that one, and then the nickels. I actually just finished tonight, and so I have time right now before the holiday to get it done. So I'm going to get it done. So for the pennies, we'll go over the list. Canadians. 1957, 1972, 1976, 1980, and 1993. Nothing too fantastic. This is the Young Head 1957 that I found in there. It's in pretty good shape. Actually, all of these Canadians are actually in a pretty decent shape. So I'm actually kind of surprised that I only found 5 Canadians. Usually I find a lot more. But these are the 2009s that I've found. This is what's called the professional life. This is the log cabin. So this would be the birthplace, birthplace. So the log cabins I don't find too much of. But the reason why I keep these is that 2009 is a low mint year. On top of it being basically a special issue coin for the 2009, there are 4 different reverses. I live on the West Coast, so I should technically get more Denvers than I do Philadelphia's. So any Philadelphia 2009s, I automatically keep. And then the other thing that if you guys weigh your coins, I have not weighed these, but these are all business strike, or should all be business strike. If you weigh these and they weigh 3.0, 3.1 grams, those are copper. They did actually strike some copper versions of these that were specifically struck for collector editions. So sometimes this collector kits can be taken apart and then put back into back into circulation. So weigh these. Business strikes are 2.5, 2.6 grams. The collector's editions would be 3.0 or 3.1 grams. So just in case you guys are looking for that. Alright, the 50s. The 50s were actually kind of rough. I didn't have any really good, super good dates in the 50s, but 50 Denver, 50 Philly, 51 Denver. I actually got 3 52 S's, which is kind of weird. Again, to have that many, estimate marks for coins, and then 2 56 Denvers, which I already expected that. The 56 and the 59 Denvers are like the ones that I get the most of. In the 40s, 1942 Philly, 42 Denver, 44, 46S, 47S, 49 Denver, and a category that I'm just calling old at this point, because it's anything that's earlier than the 40s. So 30s, 20s, teens, early. I got a 1926, so that's this one right here. It is not quite the woody look that I found in the from the last video. So it's got some wear on the wheat stalks that blends them together instead of having the separation of the lines. But to find 1926 Philly, I still think that's pretty neat. So the special ones are a 1972 Denver Die Clash, a 1961 Repunch Mint Mark RPM, and then a 1964 Repunch Mint Mark or RPM. So I will show you guys the 1972 first. So this is the 1972, and it's a very light die clash. Just the way that I look at coins, I have the light, instead of being directly on top, I have it out in front of me. So I get the light that comes in like kind of sideways. But if you guys are looking at this coin right here, you'll see the bays from the die clash. So you'll see 2 bays on this side, and then you'll see some faint ones on the left side above Liberty. So I'll just rock this back and forth a little bit so you guys can see. Super minor, because they've polished out most of the design details. But you can definitely see those 2 bays on the right hand side, and 1 bay right over here in between the T and the Y. I can kind of see sometimes. So really it's just a minor die clash, not a heavy one like I found in the past, but a reminiscent of a die clash nonetheless. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep that. Okay, so for the 1961 and the 1964, for the die clashes, I'm gonna pull up my scope right now, and see if it's gonna work. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is going to be the 1961. So for this RPM, what you are looking for on this is on the top left of the D. You can actually see another strike. It's a tilted, rotated Denver, where they struck the tilted one first. The one that's rotated, I guess, counterclockwise about 5-10 degrees, and then the second one, which is the bolder one that you see, would be the secondary strike, that they had to strike it harder to get a full mint mark in. So these are kind of fun to find for some of the older years. You can actually find a lot of them because all of the older ones were hand punched versus them being part of the actual die. And as far as the hubbing process to create the die, so those repunchment marks will basically don't exist anymore. It's not that kind of mint error is not really going to gain any kind of value on it, but I think they're fun. They're fun to find because it shows the history of that, just the die creation. And all of the different things that can happen to those dies during the creation and during the use of those dies. So this is the 1964. So this one is a little bit minor, but what you were looking for, again, on the top left, right up here, you'll see a little indent. So this is the exact same thing. It was the rotated punch. Actually, this one is not going to be rotated. This one is going to be a north punch. So what happened on this one is that they punched the first one, and then the second punch, or I guess third, depending on how they hit it, but this is generally going to be a 2 punch. They moved it just a hair higher than the previous strike, and it struck the mint mark again, and that creates that separation in between the 2 strikes of the mint mark, and makes the rest of the D, the west, and then the south, the southwest, the west, and then the southwest, thicker, because that's those 2 mint marks basically melding into one. So this is going to be another repunch mint mark that I was able to find in the pennies. So that is the review of the pennies. The nickels. Let's get rid of that. There it is. Okay, nickels. In the nickels, I rarely find as many Canadians in the nickels that I do in the pennies. And a lot of it just has to do with the amount that is in circulation and how often they're used. People go through a lot more pennies than they do nickels, so there really won't be a whole lot that are in circulation. But I did happen to find a 1987. In the 50s, I found a 53 Denver, 4 54 Denvers, a 57 Denver, and a 59 Denver. If you guys watched my last video, I found 455 Denvers in the last box. So the 50s are pretty heavy in this area still. And also the other thing that I found was just the amount of 40s that I'm also getting in these boxes. They're still really, I guess, really heavy in the 40s, but I found a 40S, a 40 Philly, a 41 Philly, 46 Philly, 47S, 48 Philly, and two 1948 Denvers. So this box, this and the last box, are actually the first two boxes that I was not able to get silver out of. The previous four boxes, I was able to get at least one silver nickel. So the silver nickels are 1942, later half of the year, or later part of the year, to 1945. The way that you can tell is that the mint mark will be large, and it will be on the top side of Monticello. For example, it would be right up here, P, D, or S, if it was a silver war nickel. Otherwise, the regular mint marks. So if this was a 42 non-silver, then your mint mark will be right over here, like it is on the rest of them. But if it's silver, it'll be up at the top of the Monticello building right here. So that's the easiest way to tell. Okay, so the special ones are, I was able to find another 2009. So 2009, you guys know that 2009 is a low mint year for most of the coins. So especially the nickels. The average strike or mintage is about 30 to 35 million for the 2009s versus the previous and four after years were in the I'm sorry, what did I say? 30 to 35 million, and then the previous years and the later years were in the 200 to 300 million coins minted. So anytime that you find 2009, always save it aside because they're generally low mint years. The second one is a 1988 reverse die clash, and the last one is a double-headed coin. So that's not a strike issue. It's somebody created it. So I wanted to show you guys this 1988. This is an 88 Philly. This is a die clash, and this is, in my opinion, this is a really heavy die clash, because you guys can see the line right here of the outline, and then you've got this spot over here that really sticks out. So I'll try to get a close up for you guys, so you guys can see the line. I mean, it's deep. I mean, it goes all the way into Monticello there, and then on the left side it sticks out quite a bit. So this was a heavy die clash. You know, that the die is worn in itself, but this is a heavy clash that created this. So you can't really see any of the reverse features. Like, there's some stuff over here on the left side, but I would not be able to line it up unless I took a straight shot picture of this and did an overlay, which I don't have the software to do currently. But another cool die clash, I found a 1966 die clash previously. This is the one that I found previously, so same thing. It's those same lines that show up right here. The line goes right up here. Now, if you compare that to the front, that is this part right here. That's the line that we're looking at. Is basically the back of the neck and the shoulders is what this line is right here. Yeah, right there. So that's the back of the neck, and then the shoulders come down right here. Okay, so the last one is the 1991 and the 1982. So this side of the coin is a standard 1991p, average wear, and then I flipped it over, and I was like, wait a minute, it's a double-headed coin. But so this one, you can see the date 1982. I was like, wait a minute, why is there two? Oh, okay. So if you look at the rim right here, you can see where it was hollowed out. It was cut down. So this 1982P was cut down to fit inside the exterior rim of the 91. So I haven't tried pulling it apart. I probably won't, just because it's a damaged coin. But it's still one of those things that's cool to find whenever you're coin roll hunting. Just something different. I've never found any kind of magic coin or melded post-mint muled coin, I'll call it, before. So this is a really cool find for me tonight. And that covers all of it for these two boxes. So if you guys have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe if you are not already subscribed, and stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you guys on the next box.